Hello everyone, this is Joakim from SABATON and you are watching Loud TV. Take care and I hope to see you on the road. Overwhelming in a way. We did a lot of research, obviously, probably the most we ever done for an album on this one. So we already had a good idea what to expect, obviously. And the thing was, though, that struck me the hardest was the small village outside that isn't there anymore, Fleury. That you go into a forest and there's just a sign that says, this used to be the baker. This used to be a farm. So that was probably the most emotional for me, at least. Oh yeah, and the connection we get to it emotionally as well. I mean, that, of course, we've had that happen before, that we came and visited the place after we had done a song there. But of course, that reinforces our emotional experience when performing it live. And then, as we were getting a little bit into more dark territory with this album and harder stuff, it started to feel natural to do World War I or the Great War here. Especially since, I mean, 2014, it was 100 years ago the war started. And then as time has gone on here, there has been, well, memorials and such things has been happening. So more things have come to light, or into the spotlight, I could say. So we had collected a few more stories regarding the Great War, of course, over these past 4 years. And then when we knew already that we're going to make an album, we're going to make it about the Great War, of course we're going to start the recording on November the 11th. I think it's been with us for a long time, actually, since maybe we did the song The Price of a Mile on Art of War back in 2008. Because we did quite a lot of research before going into that song, actually. Me and Pat, I think that was the first time, 2008, when we thought maybe one day we were going to do one album only about World War I. It's such a, well, it's not forgotten, but compared to World War II, who has so much more attention, you know, for every World War I documentary, it seems like there is 50 about World War II. And I'm not saying at all that World War II wasn't important, it was. But look at World War I. We had, back in those days, look at the European map. There will be the Russian Empire, the German Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire. They are no more. All disappeared during or in the aftermath of World War I. So, in a way, the aftermath of World War I is kind of what set what we recognize as a European map these days.
Feels overdone, and the battle has begun. No way to run, father and son, fall one by one under the gun. They will be done, and the judgment has begun. No way to...
Oh, so much. There's so much. Good question. Actually, I was speaking to Indy, who we do the SABATON History channel with. We talked about the research, and I said it was a pretty tough period. I'm not a sensitive guy. I mean, we deal with these topics all the time. But it's such a dark war for me, and a dark conflict. And Indy said, yeah, but here's a good thing for you. Over these 4 years, at no other time in human history have there been greater advances in the field of medical science. So, something nice about it, actually. That's I think is the biggest lesson I took away from it. In this darkness and madness and hell on earth that was the trench warfare of the Western Front, especially. I mean, it was hell on the Eastern Front as well, but it was more dynamic. That at least something good came out of it at all, you know. And hopefully these guys who fought it aren't forgotten, or the sacrifices aren't forgotten. Well, it's much easier these days because Hannes is such an amazing drummer, and Chris and Tommy is like, they get in there. I mean, Hannes did it all in 3 days, or 2.5 even, you know, recording the whole album. So, I mean, and at that point, it's like, yeah, I can be a perfectionist, but if he can play better than I could imagine, so go for it, man. I mean, for example, and I'm not bragging about this, the second song on the album, Seven Pillars of Wisdom, I think it has the best drumming and guitar work on a Sabaton song ever. And that was just recorded like that, you know, and I couldn't believe it, you know, we're mixing it. It's like, this is so easy. Wow, you know. It sounds good already before you started the mixing.
Yeah, sometimes it's yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to be when things are actually working for you and not against you all the time, you know. Now it's lots of fun. Oh, yeah, we've had some rough recordings. Nothing catastrophic, of course, but this one was really nice. I liked it a lot. Well, Jonas has been doing mastering for us before and other extra materials. So normally when we did whole albums, it was with Peter. It's in the same house, but in another studio. So this was the first time we recorded everything with Jonas and did a whole album with him. They have different styles, Peter and Jonas working. But I love them both, and I couldn't say if one is better than the other, but you can hear it's a little bit different in the production, of course. Yeah, ancient Egypt for sure. We haven't done anything around Alexander the Great, which would be interesting. I mean, I've had for example, yeah, which is France related actually. I've had this idea that I still want to do is, you know, I want to do something about Napoleon in that era. But then that guy is not one song, you know. You can't cover that in 3 or 11 minutes of music. So there's a lot of stuff we have, you know, hopes of doing in the future that we haven't covered yet. Some songs are really both musical and stories. This is kind of interesting actually. For example, we have a song called Saboteurs. It was released on Coat of Arms in 2010. I wrote most of that song in 1999, but I couldn't finish it before. The story for some other things, you know, that, oh, this is an amazing story, we want to be able to tell it. We still have things from many years back that we haven't told yet because we didn't have the right album, the right time and everything. So, you know, it's not like we are telling fans you never know. It's because we don't know.